Upon arriving back, we all walked in the front door and started to hang up our coats in the hallway when an almighty female scream came from upstairs. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Drip Podcast. Now, technically, if I've done this right, this will be an unexpected part 2 to last week's episode that me and Bailey recorded where we listened to stories. That was last week's episode, right?
Yeah.
Listen to stories, read stories, yeah?
Yes.
Because we've had a follow-up email from the lovely gentleman that emailed us from the room that his sister used to summon demons from and drew a pentagram on the floor. So technically, this is a part 2. So if you haven't listened to that story, go back to last week and then come and join us again. But we have a couple of your stories. These are probably my favorite episodes to do, to be honest. And to be honest, the more we do these, the more stories we get come through and the more detail as well. I don't know what happened to my voice then.
What was that?
Yeah, I turned detail into 2 words. I think the ghosts are attacking my larynx from 30 Drive. Yeah. So for the video viewers, Bailey's camera is destroyed.
Yep.
Now, Bailey.
Yes.
That's a bit strange, isn't it? Where has your camera been since the last time you used it?
30's Drive, Your Honor.
Oh. Fred's gone straight for his lens.
Just imagine it right now. Just imagine in the living room, Fred there. Hi, guys. It's Fred from 30's Drive here. Stolen Bailey's video quality. And we're going to be doing some spooky vlogs from inside 30's Drive every day.
That's it.
What if Fred's followed you home, right? And what he's done, and I'll explain this for the audio listeners in just a moment. What he's done is, so Fred's in your room right now, and he's just doing this. Fred's just put his ghost hand over Bailey's camera so he can't be seen.
It's one of these times where just ordered it. It's one of these times where I really wish that I just like had a complete brain fart and was like, oh, this whole time the lens cap's been on. But it hasn't. It's a shame. It would have been a great plot twist. Considering the lens cap is in my hand.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it.
It's in my asshole.
But obviously, there we go. But obviously, for the audio listeners, who gives a shit? Because we still have your crisp, bassy baritone voice.
Yes.
But yeah, as I was saying, not questions. Fuck me. Stories. You guys sent to dudeystories@gmail.com, and they are brilliant. Sometimes I proofread them. Sometimes I want to experience it live on the pod. So a couple of these I will be experiencing live. So we shall see how that goes. I think we should probably start with the second part of last week's. I'll do a brief reminder as well. But before we get into that, obviously you know that Bailey's with us. We also have Maya, as you've heard, sneezing, and Scott and Lozzie. So it's a full team this week.
Oh my goodness, look at us go.
Yeah.
That East Drive really brought us together.
Exactly. We did a fantastic, in my opinion, podcast from 30 East Drive, but we decided in that podcast that we were going to talk all about the investigation. So that podcast won't be coming out until the investigation is out. But let's do a non-spoiler little 30 East Drive. It was fun though, wasn't it? We decided to go up the day before. We got an Airbnb, which was fun.
That was great. And even though in hindsight, it didn't, other than for Scott, really, it didn't really help any of us out. I had a fucking great time. So,
I mean, you say that. I think you underestimate the effect that would have had going straight from here to Pontefract into the investigation.
Yeah. But we did have to spend probably more time in that car than we would have if we'd have driven straight from Norwich.
But it was fun. We filmed an hour singing video where basically Scott downloaded an app where it'll be like, this song is from 1993, and then it'll just play the drums. And that's for like X amount of points. And then it's like, okay, you don't know what it is yet. Here's the bass as well. And then it gradually gets easier and easier. And then you guess the song, which I'm going to be turning into content for Patreon. So
that was the highlight of my whole weekend.
It was that app was amazing. So
That's
go check out the Patreon.
So long.
Yeah,
that's true.
That fucking app.
Yeah, we could have actually gone. We could have gone and done things, but we went. We're just going to do this.
Yeah,
we had something. We had something to eat. Scott put it on. Was like, well, we're just going to sit in the car park until we're ready to go.
Yeah, we can
roast.
Yeah,
oh,
non-spoiler review.
Fucking awful.
The 30s Drive, worst carvery I've ever fucking had.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Listen.
The thought behind it was we're up north, Yorkshire pudding, good roast. Fuck.
It was
me.
It was absolutely fucking abysmal. Like, if I had to give it out of 10, and I feel like I'm being generous, it was a 2.5.
And that's only because you had a drink with it.
Yeah.
And that's because I had a fucking Pepsi Max.
Yeah. The thing is, like, it was so bad. The experience will stay with me forever. Like, everything about that hour that we were in there.
Yeah.
However, the people at Doncaster, bloody lovely, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bloody lovely.
Now, I had a very pregnant. There's pregnant women.
All of them were pregnant
everywhere.
I don't think I saw a non-pregnant woman other than me the entire day.
Come on, Doncaster, get your Netflix subscriptions in so you can do something else with your time. Come on.
Literally. Come on.
Fucking Doncaster baby boom. But yeah, we went shopping as well because I stupidly didn't take enough clothes for the amount of days. So I needed to get a shirt. So we went shopping. That was fun. I wore a Leeds shirt, although it's a subtle one. It's a limited edition all black Leeds shirt that you kind of have to squint at and then you realize what it is. But I did think, oh, hang on a minute. Leeds shirt in Doncaster. This could be brave. No, must have seen about 20, 25 Leeds fans while we were out. Went into JD where they actually stocked the Leeds shirts. And I was just browsing, just having a look. And this old boy who was a Leeds fan, I knew this because, well, he was looking at Leeds shirts and he had a Leeds shirt on. He was like, oh. Looking at the third kit shirt. I was like, oh. There's a lovely shirt, isn't it? Straight to me. I didn't know this man. I was like, hey, yeah, I do really like it. It's very nice. Oh, I know. I tell you, when Red Bull first took over, I wasn't too keen, but Red Bull, it's growing on me, the old Red Bull logo. I was like, I know, mate. It's a lovely shirt. You should get it. He's like, oh, no. Season ticket holder, mate. I'll get a discount at Superstore. I was like, okay, fair enough. No worries. But yeah, it was just nice. There's loads of Leeds fans everywhere. But and then that was the build up to 30 East Drive, which we then went there. We got the drone up. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Don't know whether to say this because it's a little bit naughty, but I actually have a drone license. I am a licensed commercial drone flight man, and I need it for work. Pilot, that's it.
There we go.
Flight man.
I need it for work, and one of the rules.
Sorry, I just imagine like you jump on your Ryanair flight down to Spain. They're like, ladies and gentlemen, this is your flight man speaking.
Can we do a petition to rename the word pilot?
Rename flight man. And one of the rules of flying a drone, if you have a screen like the one that I use, a DJI, you turn your phone into the screen. If you're looking at the screen, which you kind of have to get those awesome panning shots, you need to have a spotter with you. Right, so the spotter has to have eyes on the drone at all times. So Lozzie came out to be my spotter, and we were filming 30 East Drive. The footage is on the Patreon, patreon.com/Studio Rhino, panning around, right? It's beautiful. Then I realized you just got me and Lozzie just stood in the front garden. And so I was like, yeah, Loz, we kind of need to get out of the way. So then we went and stood in the back garden, couldn't see the drone. So, but I knew there were no overhead cables, all right, and I knew I wasn't in a flight zone. Let's not talk about that. But yeah, basically at work, I know they flew a drone into a load of overhead cables, which would have took out the entire road, but I didn't.
You didn't.
So you
knew what you were doing.
Carol
was a little bit less receptive this
Yeah,
time?
spoilers, but just so you don't get your hopes up, because I know a few people are like, oh my God, I can't wait for Lozzie to meet Carol, blah, blah, blah. So basically, we rang her up because she weren't there when she was supposed to be. And you're like, oh, are you there? Are you there? And then Ma was like, yeah, we're at the door. She's like, all right, I'll go and let you in. So she came out and she was like,
No, she went, did you not knock on my door? I went, no.
Did you not knock on my door? No, unfortunately not. Oh, okay, I'll come and let you in.
Didn't know I had to. That's why
So
we
she
did.
comes out, pajamas, comes out.
That is how she walked, in fairness.
Yeah, just like came over, head bobbing along. And she was like, yeah, I can't remember. She was just like,
You been here before?
You've been here before? And we were like, yeah. She was like, all right. Then.
Go on then.
Go on and just fucking go on. Just go on. So you know the rules. Then do it. You don't let anyone in. If you need anything, I'll be here till midnight. After that, you got to call police and fuck you off. And then she just left. And there was no kind of. Did you hear that?
Did you hear that, Emma?
Did you hear that?
She didn't even come inside of us. Like,
Didn't do even no.
No,
The fair play
here's
to her.
the
Listen,
keys,
Carol,
fuck
don't
off.
never change.
Last
that was pretty much what it was, though.
Last time we got full tour, we got a psychic reading for each of us except Scott. And then
maybe she just clocked you, Scott, and was like, oh, fucking Christ.
That is fucking
Probably.
swat,
That is the usual reaction.
Is that a bastard that's being followed by Lucifer? Can't do it.
Then she
Yeah,
saw
what-
Loz
she's
and
scared
was
of me.
like, yeah, definitely. She saw Loz and was
Excuse
like,
me.
too much following this lad. It's draining all my energy.
I can barely see him. It's just a fucking black mist around him.
Yeah. Oh,
Fuck me.
Fred's gonna have fun with you tonight, boy.
Fucking hell. You ever been ridden back ghost? Because you're going to be. Fucking hell.
Tell you what, Fred don't like Constellation spit neither, boy. You're gonna be in for a rough ride. Oh, sorry, that's a bit bad. Sorry, that's a bit far. Maybe beat that, Loz. Maybe beat that bit.
Ghosts don't really need the spit because they've got the ectoplasm, haven't they?
Oh, that's it. See?
You'll be ectoplasm as well, boy, I tell you. No, sorry. All right, that's not. Maybe we should start.
Yeah, should we read some emails or something?
You'll be plastered against wall. Anyway.
Scattered.
Bite down on the piss-proof mattress.
Oh, the mattresses. That's another thing that we can talk about. Now that we've covered the build-up, we can cover the. Oh no, can we? Can we cover the sleeping aspect?
Well, we slept there. They know that much.
Yeah, but we can't really talk
I said
about
we were going to
it.
sleep. No,
because if we talk about it, then you're either going to know if something happened or didn't happen. So we can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I will
then we
say,
drove home, and that was the end of that.
No, but what I will say, and this isn't spoilers. This is just to get you hyped. Is separate occasions. Myself and Bailey had awful experiences. I think it's safe to say. So,
And Scott?
Yeah, I was going Scott's one.
Oh, Scott's one.
You can't remember.
Can't say it.
Yeah, it's well terrible.
Don't worry, you're not on your own,
man.
man.
Think about it. It's the thing. Maybe you could beep this, but it's the thing that we had to test.
Ah, yeah, true.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
The thing that we had to test.
I
I
was there.
in our
I'm gonna
WhatsApp
text
earlier.
you.
Oh yeah! Fuck!
Yeah.
Yeah!
Arguably.
How the fuck?
I
Yeah!
forgot as well.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, Doctor, sorry. That fucking hell.
Yeah, that happened. That was the thing that did.
No,
that did
no,
happen.
No. Cut that now.
no. Listen,
Lozzie don't cut shit.
No.
If anything, I add more out of context.
Just dropping everything every now and again.
The context leaves everything out.
Oh dear.
Just Jordan quoting Dr. Disrespect, no other podcast at all.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I can't think of. It's so hard. Like when you come out of an investigation before the video is made, you genuinely forget everything that happens, and it's. I know it's absolutely ridiculous, but I can't gauge how awful the night was until I've seen the video.
Yeah.
Like for example, with the Ram. I think I say this in the podcast that we filmed at 30's Drive, but at the Ram, when you watch the exit interview, I'm not really that bothered about it.
Yeah, he's
But
like,
now
yeah,
if you, and there was nothing found in the footage that we didn't experience on the night. Like the mirror, everything was experienced on the night. But I'm like, yeah, it was quite bad. It's like,
yeah.
no, Maya.
But you're
it's
also
the fucking scariest
exhausted as
night of your
well.
life.
Yeah. It
You're
doesn't
also
help,
Yeah.
does it?
exhausted.
Doesn't help.
But yeah, no,
It's
30
it's
East Drive
fucking
Return was
brilliant,
fucking
though.
epic.
Yeah, it really was. It was
I
definitely worth going back.
I don't know if I want
So-
to go back, to be honest. First time I went there, you come here before Fred took your fucking hair. Come here second time, Fred's taking your vision. Next time you come, he'll take your fucking life, lad. That's it. I don't know if I'm welcome back. Every time I go, I lose something.
So obviously this is subjective. It's entirely my opinion. So I felt like Ancient Ram in the first time was better than the second time.
Mm.
Agreed.
I think the second time of 30 East Drive was better than the first time, personally.
Agreed.
I have to
sure?
agree because I was awake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
I mean,
it was
Scott, you
also
weren't
better for my
really
mental
there.
health.
First one, you weren't there, mate. You were just there
Yeah.
in just physical
Yeah.
being. You weren't.
You're
there
about there. You're about as there as Lozzie was.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
but in your defense, Scott, that is, in my opinion, the best part of the last video, the
Yeah.
first 30s drive video.
Sitting
So
there like a little old man with a blanket on.
don't.
yeah,
That fucking sets me off so much
Yeah.
every time.
Just like, yeah.
But no,
But,
I thought this time definitely my personal experience there was a lot nicer.
Yeah.
So I
And
just
also
wasn't on my own.
get ready for Duty's Demon Dares, which is the rebrand of Secret Satan.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway,
Well,
I
I don't
suppose
just
we
shit my
should
pants when you
really
said that.
that's it. We should really read a fucking story, to be
We're there.
honest. Okay, right.
Do
Let's
that
do the
enough?
follow up. Do that enough.
Do you that
Right.
enough?
What
Do
was that?
that enough. What
What
I
was
can't
that?
stop saying that at all.
What
what?
was that?
Well, that.
What was that?
What?
Carol never-
What?
Friend of
Do
the
that enough?
podcast, Carol, never change.
I was
I
very
love
paranoid
that.
you were going to start doing the accent while you were talking to her, to be fair.
It was close. Because at
So
that point we'd been up north.
instinctively.
We'd been up north for like 48 hours at that point.
Basically
I don't know,
locals.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we walked to the local Tesco, didn't we?
We did.
I went
Yeah.
to Tesco technically 3 times because I kept forgetting stuff and turning back.
What was
Spam.
that?
What? Well, that.
Big up the
Oh, we-
spam.
Jesus, are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, so this is a follow up. Okay, this is a follow up. There's a few follow up paranormal stories. So this is from the email we did last week.
Yeah, boy.
I believe we said his name because it doesn't say anything about being anonymous. It was
Yeah, we
Kevin.
did say his name. There we go.
Evan. So yeah, basically, haunted house that he grew up in, and I'll just quickly go over for the guys, Lozzie, Scott, and Maya, who weren't here last week.
We do listen
Basically-
to the pod, though.
Yeah, but you might not have had an opportunity to listen to this one, so I'll let you off. It's only been a
Did
few
we?
days.
No.
No, we didn't listen to it in the car. So
Okay.
we basically there's a few reasons as to why Kevin believes his house might be haunted. I grew up with 4 other siblings, with me being the middle child, the oldest. My sister was big into Ouija boards in her rebellious teenage years. I don't particularly believe in summoning demons, but she once drew a big pentagram in the middle of her bedroom carpet. Ironically, the room I'm writing this email from now, and would
How
routinely
old? How old is she?
teenage.
Oh, okay.
That's all it says. And would routinely scare the shit out of 10-year-old me with the stories of her Ouija board sessions. Could something have been invited in? I don't know, but it's a possibility. So that's the first thing. The second
Okay.
cause of this house quirks is the least likely out of the two, as it's very much a trust me bro rumor that I've never researched, but apparently someone took their own life in this house. Again, just a rumor. Nothing was mentioned to my parents about this when moving here in the early 90s. This rumor came from a local source, but not an overly trustworthy one. However, I think it's worth a mention. So yeah, the kind of TLDR is random scratches appearing on the body. It happened to multiple people. not just him. And yeah, just lots of like scary, spooky stuff going on in this house. Okay. So thought it was a fantastic story. Again, go back to last week's if you haven't heard the rest. It's definitely worth a listen. And this is a few follow-up paranormal stories. Okay. So, hey Duty and crew, it's me again. The guy whose sister thought drawing a pentagram on her bedroom carpet would be smart. I hope you're all well and planning more trips for your own paranormal adventures. After hearing you read out my family's experiences, I wanted to share a couple more. You asked for my most recent experience, which I will share. But before I do, I want to preface this email with a few words to you and your audience. These stories are all true to the best of my memory. Were they paranormal? I wish I had an answer. But one thing is undeniably true. My family and I cannot explain them. I'm open to explanations. In fact, I welcome them, seeing as some of these next few stories are some of the more weirder ones to happen here. So I'll start with my most recent experience. This one is ridiculous. I know it is because I feel like a bit of a fool sharing it, and it's going to be quite hard to explain, but here goes anyway. I think it's important to note before I continue. Kevin has since moved out of this house, but is now looking after his elderly mum in the house again, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was I think that was it. Yeah.
So he is around this house quite a bit. So this happened roughly 3 months ago. And to understand my point of view, I just need to explain the layout of this house briefly. It's a 3-story house with a strange stair layout. You have the first floor, which has a long hallway as you walk in via the front door. The kitchen is off to the right at the end of the hallway, and the stairs are to the left opposite the kitchen door. To go upstairs, you go up 6 steps and get to a little landing. You do a U-turn and then go up another set of 6 steps to get to the second floor where the living room is. So one day I was coming down from the living room. I walked down the first set of 6 steps, did the U-turn, glanced up towards the kitchen, ready to come down the next set of 6 steps, and I saw a pure white mass in what my brain translated to be the shape of a back half of a foot near the floor. Just as it disappeared out of view, it was as if someone was walking in the kitchen and you glanced up and saw the last bit of their foot as they were striding and disappearing out of view, except it was just pure white. I hope that makes sense. It's the best way I can describe it. I paused for 2 seconds, confused more than anything, and quickly went down to see if someone or something was in the house. The kitchen was empty. I instantly tried to come up with explanations for it, and the only one I had was the cat. It's tabby and white. I immediately looked around. No cat. I looked in the back garden, which the kitchen backs onto, and the cat was fast asleep at the back of the garden on the decking where she normally was. What I saw was brief, but not peripheral vision. I saw it head on. It was for half a second. Could I have imagined it? I guess. I honestly would question my sanity if it wasn't for past experiences in this place.
Wow.
Interesting.
What do we think?
Spooky ghost.
I
It's
think it's
very weird.
unbelievably believable. If that makes sense.
I do know what you mean. I
Yeah,
do get what you
because
mean.
it's so random that it wouldn't it's not like say for example, and I'm not saying that everyone that says these kinds of things is making it up, but when it's like something that's really common, like, oh, I saw a black shadow out of the corner of my eye and it disappeared, or I heard this or I heard that. Like, this is such a unique thing to see, and it's so specific to the point that he had
Yeah.
to describe his house and things like that.
Yeah. He's
And a
essentially,
white
I saw,
mass and the
a
back of a foot. So
yeah,
random.
I saw a ghost heel, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, if you were going to make it up, you would be like, oh, I
Yeah.
saw a ghost walk into my kitchen.
Yeah. So that would
Yeah.
be my immediate reaction, is that it doesn't make any sense to not be real, which is crazy.
Yeah. Because let's go with that go down that road for a second. So what logically could it be? Because I struggled to think of anything. Because if it was like a a misty mass. What there's no
Someone
fog
vaping?
machines. I was going to say someone vaping, but like maybe it's someone laying on the floor having a vape.
Could be a ghost
It's
having a vape.
just- could be a ghost having a vape. But it's just one of those. It's just very hard to explain. Anyone in the comments, feel free to try and explain
Potentially
this.
The only thing I can think
reflection?
of, would be a reflection. But then, with it being a reflection, you'd be able to constantly repeat by putting
Yeah.
yourself back
Yeah.
into the position you were standing in to see it again. Because
Yeah,
it would just be there.
it wouldn't be the first time or the only time that he'd seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah, true. You'd catch it every time.
you'd catch it. Well,
Essentially.
depending on what it was
The
reflecting.
sun.
You
Yeah.
could have had like a mixing bowl on the side of the sink or something where the light was hitting them reflecting out or whatever. It's something stupid like that. But like, that's why it was there that time, but not other times. But what I'm saying is, like, if he was standing there and saw it, if he like adjusted his head backwards as if he was going back up the stairs to come back down, it would catch the light in the same way and he would see it again.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That
It's
would
very,
be the
very
only
strange.
explanation, and that debunks itself. So
Yeah.
The only thing
What
I
do
would
you?
add-
I was going to say,
I
what
would
do you
add
think,
that
Lost?
if the reflection was moving because of something else moving outside of the house, that
True.
would also make the reflection move.
Mhm.
But I have no idea other than that. I was going to say an animal, but he already crossed it off because he said cat.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm not quite following the reflection logic all the way because what
you could
For
have
example,
shiny
like-
tiles.
I get it through this window here, that's next to me. At the right time of the day, you will get reflections off windows that move on the wall behind me. And if you are looking at the wall and you see it go by, you're like, that's a reflection. But if you're not paying full attention, you're like, okay, what the fuck was that? For a second, I'm not saying this is the scenario that's playing out for this person, but that's the only logical explanation I could give.
I do get what you're saying 100%. The only things I'd say to that is it wasn't a peripheral thing. You did say look
Yeah.
straight on, and
Mm.
also I get it totally. Light reflection or refraction, whatever it is, on the wall
Mhm.
doesn't look like a white mass of
No.
mist though.
It doesn't.
The,
No.
the only thing I can think
very
that
weird.
potentially could, and it's very unlikely, is an eye floater.
Yeah.
Oh
type
yeah,
thing.
little eye worm.
Little
Yeah.
eye worm. Yeah, it's not out of the realms of possibility.
It's a long shot, to be entirely honest. And
Because they're more
obviously-
like long,
I mean,
isn't they?
you'd see it multiple times. You'd know.
Yeah, as you looked away,
had
it go
that.
like.
You may not be able to repeat the exact motion, but you'd know you had that in your vision. for whatever
Yeah.
it's doing.
Yeah.
I
for
just
sure.
googled
So it's
eye
unlikely.
worm. And
But yeah, don't do that.
Wouldn't
Jesus,
have- yeah, I
don't do
wouldn't have
that.
done that.
No,
That's
don't
not the
Google-
wording you
why
want to
would-
use.
Why would you
Because
Google eye worm?
I was expecting to see what an eye worm looks like.
No,
to
you
my
want
own
eye.
eyes.
No, for
It's an
that
eye
you want
floater.
eye floater.
They're two
Yeah.
very different things.
If
No, but you
Google
can see
eye
when you
worm,
get
you're gonna
eye
see
worms,
you're gonna see
you
worms
get-
in eyes.
Yeah, but you get little. They look like little floating worms.
Yeah, but we know
Yeah.
that. But Google's gonna think, well,
floaters.
this guy wants to see some worms in
A
some eyeballs.
parasite in someone's eye.
There we go. Look at this.
That was a fucking
Right.
mistake.
Yeah, no, eye worm is not a good thing to Google. You're right.
But yeah, very, very interesting experience.
It also doesn't
Not-
help that we don't know the layout. Obviously, you did describe it to your best of your ability, but obviously not seeing it firsthand to kind of get a glimpse of how things are set up is also difficult to comment. You know?
Yeah, without seeing like a full layout visually of the house.
Kevin, would you be able to send me a photograph of your POV from where you saw the heel? That would be epic.
Yes.
So just take a picture
that.
from where you were stood towards the kitchen door, where to give us an idea. That would be absolutely epic. You absolutely don't have to do that, by the way. But I'm just asking to help us understand better. But also, your house has had a lot of weird shit happen in it, so could be a ghost. The next experience happened back in the 90s. I was around 12 years old, and my mum, me, and my siblings had all been out for the evening going to the local fair, which was in town for the week. It was a cold October evening, so we were all eager to get home after a long night. Upon arriving back, we all walked in the front door and started to hang up our coats in the hallway when an almighty female scream came from upstairs.
Right.
It wasn't a shriek, more like a painful yell, plain as day, in the house coming from the 3rd floor. We all looked at each other, shocked, not knowing what to do. My mum then very nervously shouted up the stairs, "Who's there?" There was no answer, unsurprisingly. Eventually, my mum plucked up the courage to go upstairs after shouting up a few more times with us kids following behind. That's very brave of you all. We slowly went room by room, and there was nothing. When it was clear, we all went downstairs again and waited in the kitchen for my stepdad to come home from work, and he checked the building thoroughly. Nothing. To this day, I'm sure that scream came from within the house. The front door was shut and the windows were closed. Could it have been outside? We can never rule it out. But when you live in a house long enough, you know what outside noises sound like. I was quite young at the time, though. However, my mum, to this day, still talks about that night and how scared she was. So there's a couple more experiences for you and the listeners. I won't write any more in this email for fear of it turning into an autobiography. There is one experience I may share in the future, but I will have to get in contact with my brother to see if he wants to share it. It's the most unbelievable thing that ever happened here. If someone told me about this experience and I didn't know the individual personally or see them straight after it occurred, I wouldn't believe it myself. Hence why I want to make sure he's okay with the story being told. One for the future, maybe.
Oh, my gosh.
Just a couple more things before I leave. Regarding you wanting to investigate the house, it's a possibility in the future. It's something I'll have to sort out because, as mentioned in the previous email, I'm looking after my mum and can't really do it with her here as it'll make her uncomfortable, of course.
Absolutely.
Completely understand that. Once in a blue moon, she goes to stay with family when she is feeling up to being able to travel. So if something comes about, I'll be sure to send you a message. It may be short notice and only for a night or two, but hopefully we can sort something out. Finally, I just wanted to mention I'm from Peterborough. I heard you mention Norwich on the pod and realized you were actually quite close. So if/when the house is available, hopefully the travel won't be too bad. Peterborough is very close. Peterborough is like an hour and a bit from here, I think.
Yeah.
It's only like 40 minutes from where I am.
Yeah, mad. So thank you so much.
7 days away.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the consideration, dude. Obviously, completely understand your situation, and it's not an issue at all. If it can't materialize, but if you want us to check out your house and all of its hauntings, then yeah, just let us know, man. Get in touch. Thanks for your time, Duty, the crew, and everyone listening. Some of these experiences and happenings have stayed within the family for many years, and it's honestly nice to just share them beyond our own echo chamber. It's a bit easier to talk about them with people who are interested in the subject matter than people who aren't, as you can imagine. Absolutely. Hopefully I'll meet you all sometime soon. Thanks again, Kevin. Kevin, thank you so much for sending that in. Really, really appreciate it. Let's talk about the second experience that he had there.
Yeah.
So woman screaming, top of your house. That's absolutely vile. I don't know how the hell I would react to that.
I don't think I'd go upstairs. I don't know what it would take for me to actually.
Yeah.
If I was confident it was inside the house, I think I would struggle.
I think the thing is, if I was to hear it, I think I wouldn't really think paranormal off the bat. I would think that somebody would be out there, so I would go and check. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if it sounds so real, obviously, if some like twat's broken into your fucking house, never hurt himself, you're gonna go up there to fucking see him regardless, because obviously they're in your house. But like, if you hear a scream, I wouldn't be able to stop myself from not going out. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to go up and check it out.
You can't just carry on your day, can you?
Then absolutely I'd have to go and do it.
I think it would be a case of you either go and see yourself or you call the police.
Yeah,
I think I'd probably lean more towards the police option.
Yeah, me too.
It would depend who I was with, I guess, at the time.
Yeah,
if like in that school there were a few people, it would be. But then
he said he was quite young, and it was
true.
him and his mum, and I assume his brother.
I mean, I understand him not wanting to go up there,
Yeah.
Absolutely, being like 12 years old or however old he said he was.
And
Absolutely.
also, I mean, I know you could go to your neighbours, but this was also the 90s. So it's not like you've got a mobile phone. You know,
No,
you don't
of
know where
course,
their
yeah.
house phone is.
True.
Probably upstairs.
Probably
Yeah.
upstairs, considering the
So-
living room's on the
Living
first
room's
floor.
on-
So
yeah.
it wouldn't make sense for it to be upstairs.
But yeah, that is
Yeah, that's
grim. But
wild.
obviously, I don't know when this. Oh, and then she said 12 years old, and he did say that 10-year-old me was scared by the Ouija boards now. So it's been a bit. They've been in the house for at least 2 years at this point. So they're also probably quite used to the hauntings. So they're probably. I know you saying like, oh, your mind wouldn't go to paranormal, but theirs
Yeah, it probably
may
would,
well
yeah.
have done.
Mm.
Absolutely.
It's
It's a tricky one. It's one like
Yeah,
again, it's one of
wild.
them situations you wouldn't know what to do unless it was to happen to you.
Yeah.
But like, okay, just prime example. Okay, well, it's not really prime example, but you know, it's a similar sort of situation. Okay, so 2 nights ago, we was woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning to a car alarm going off. Okay, and it's not out of the realms of a possibility. You know, you hear fucking car alarms going off. You think, no, not much of it. But from our bedroom, we can see to the window that shows the driveway, and we could see that the hazard lights were flashing and reflecting off the walls of the neighbour's house. So we knew that the car alarm belonged to a car that was on our drive. Obviously, we share a driveway with next door, so it could have been our car or next door's car. I hear the car alarm going off. Bearing in mind I sleep in my boxes, I just got up and sprinted outside to see what the fuck was going on with the cars. Like, I just thought, well, fuck, if some cunt's breaking into my fucking car, I'm going to stop him breaking into the car, pants or no pants, right? But then luckily it was the neighbour's car, so I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll go back to bed then. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, you
Someone
just,
a crowbar in hand.
yeah,
goes,
yeah,
nah,
oh, fuck, yeah,
bedtime.
go over it. No, but I looked around, there was no one there, so their car was just going off. Maybe a cat set it off or something. But like, it's one of them situations, like you hear something, well, I need to go check what's going on with it. And this was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was just pretty much stark-bollock naked in the street.
jeez.
Yeah.
That's the way.
I see. I don't know. I don't know if I hear a noise, like if it's the middle of the night and I hear a noise in my garden, I'm reluctant.
Yeah.
No, I would go and check it. I think
It's-
I'd have to. I wouldn't be able to roll over and go to sleep until I knew
Oh,
what
no.
it was.
I'm
Yeah.
not carrying on with my day.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like,
I'm not just going where time to go make lunch. Like I would be doing something. I just
I
don't.
wouldn't be able
I don't
to.
know if I'd be going.
I wouldn't be able to do anything else until I solves what it was coming from.
I think it depends. I think if it's a case of like this where you're confident it's coming from within the house, and you
Yeah.
know there's no one else in the house, and it's like a very real, very pained scream, it's kind of like that's not right. I
Yeah,
think
I
I'd
would
have
call the
to-
police
Yeah,
and then go stand outside.
yeah.
Mm.
I think it's like I say, it's one of those knowing how you'd react in that. I think is very
Yeah.
case by case.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very easy to say it on the like from the sidelines. It's like if you watch like horror films and stuff, you've got the context of it being a horror film, so you
Yeah, of
act
course.
accordingly. But then like with this story, we've got the context of the house being haunted, so we're thinking of what we would do in that moment because you save yourself in a horror film kind of thing. But
Yeah.
if it was just actually your house, you heard a scream upstairs of a woman, your brain's going to be in a very different place, so you might just
Yeah.
go off and help.
Mm.
Yeah. Lozzie, what would you do?
I think I'm with you on this one, Bailey. I just wouldn't be able to let go of the thought that I need to know what's going on upstairs in
Yeah.
this scenario.
I think what we're dealing with here is a Sigma mentality.
I'm going outside.
I'm going to the pub.
Moving out, selling my house.
maybe that's the
Yeah.
true Sigma move.
That's it.
I'm just going to go drink alcohol.
That's it.
No, I would go and check. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I think I would eventually. I just think it would take a bit of preparation. I don't think I'd be able to just run straight up the stairs and go see what was
wouldn't.
going on.
Scott would wait for them to come downstairs and be like, "Well, I don't need to now."
you got to fucking come and help me. You're just gonna let me die up here.
Do you know what? Do you know honestly, and I mean this, what I think the deciding factor would be? So I open the door. There's a scream upstairs. What the fuck is that? if I don't know where my cats are, I'll go upstairs. Because if there's
Aw.
some fucking lunatic that's broken in and they try to fuck up my cats, I'll
Doesn't
fucking
matter where
throw 'em
Maya
out the
is,
top
but if the
window.
cats aren't.
Yeah, fuck me. It was actually me
No,
screaming upstairs.
think about the scenario. So Maya would be with me as I open the door. Obviously, if there's a scream upstairs, I'd be like, "Oh, Maya's hurt herself."
Yeah.
Like, let's
No,
follow
you'd
the
be
fucking
like,
logical
where are the...
thread here.
I'm upstairs. You hear a scream. You go, where are the cats?
yeah.
What
No.
are you doing to the cats?
No, it's Kevin's scenario. So you've come back with your
Yeah.
whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know he
Yeah.
said his dad was at work, but his dad's also not a female screaming. So
Maybe.
True.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah. No, I think that would be a factor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a very, very fascinating and horrific experience, and a couple of experiences there. So thank you so much, Kevin. Right.
And also, we want to know that other story immediately.
We
Yeah,
absolutely.
he set himself
Yeah.
up for the trilogy.
Yeah.
I don't-
Absolutely.
So I don't want to push things along too quickly, but my headphones have been beeping, which means they're going to die.
Ooh.
So we're gonna have a vote because I've got a story here. But we're also at about 45 minutes. So do we call the episode there? Oh,
But we,
how cruel.
to be fair though, there's like 5 minutes of that was before the podcast actually started.
Hey,
It was
listen,
2
all I'm
minutes.
saying is
2:45.
this is part 2 to Kevin's story.
That's true.
We've
True.
done Kevin's story, and it was a great story. I think we should give Kevin his own light for his part 2 and go back to the other stories another day.
Next week.
Yeah.
It's a good shout. It's a good
Yeah.
shout.
I'm not against it.
Much love to Kevin. Thank you so much for the
Do you wanna
email,
do a
dude.
Patreon question?
Because we can't go
We
yet.
can certainly try. I'm just but a Patreon question is, I mean, because like I said earlier, the emails I've been getting, thank you so much. They're juicy, they're long, which is the more
That's what we
detail for
want.
me, the better. Obviously, if you got a little short one, you want to send in a couple of sentences, not against that at all. Thank you so much. But just recently, we've been getting really, really long emails, which is absolutely quality.
Yeah.
But
Plus,
once
if
again,
your headphones die, as we proved before the podcast started filming, I can lip read, and I'll just tell everyone what you're saying.
True.
That did happen.
But it
It
doesn't
did
matter
happen.
if
I
it
was
doesn't
really
matter
good
if
at
his
it.
headphones die, his mic will still be
Oh yeah.
there. He won't be able to hear what we're saying. So because I don't have a camera on, lip reading for me is out of the equation for Jordan.
He'll just never
That's
know.
it.
Let's get a Patreon question going. What we got?
Yeah.
yeah. So once again, I haven't asked. I really need to get back into the flow of asking for a Patreon question. But we have a group chat over on Patreon, which is absolutely epic. And we posted pictures from the Airbnb and stuff all over the weekend. It was really good fun.
I believe there was a meal review from Scott's dinner.
There
That was
was
great.
there was a bit of review.
If you want to see the Drip team rating meals, I'm sure we can do that over on Patreon.
And I assume
Yes.
the singing the songs in the car video will go on
Yeah.
Patreon.
Also, as well, like the
Yeah.
Patreon, there is some juicy content that gets posted on there. To be honest, a lot of really good stuff for what you actually pay for. Jordan, how much do people pay for that Patreon?
£1 a month.
£1 a month, guys. One singular pound a month for maybe some of the best quality content on the internet, other than the quality of the content on Jordan's Duty Rhino YouTube channel.
That's
I would have to
So-
agree.
And
There
I
we go.
just want it to be said as well, the proceeds on Patreon get reinvested back into the pod
There we go.
and the investigations and
Yeah.
and travel and Airbnb, etc. for the investigations. So,
That
yeah.
Airbnb the night before would not have been possible without
exactly.
you guys.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have
On
seen, we wouldn't have
Patreon.
seen Scott's meal. So
We're not going
that's
to tell you
down
what
to
it
you
was,
guys.
but just seeing that video is worth £1 this month.
Yeah.
There you go.
You
can't
can
afford
go
not
on
to
there.
do that.
Oh, and
Watch
also
it, leave.
and also if you join, basically I'm giving all patrons a sticker for free.
Look at that.
So
Where'd you
there
get
you
that?
go. Stickers.
That's
I
great.
had them made. Bailey drew it. This is Bailey's
he did.
design. This is going on shirts soon. But I had stickers made, which I'm giving away for free to all the patrons. So if you want a sticker, head over there. Right, we have a question from Matty GC. We're going to have to be quick because my headphones are literally about to die. So Matty GC asked, I'm not sure if I like the idea of reincarnation. My headphones have just died, by the way, so you guys are going to have to answer this. I can't hear anymore. I'm not sure if I like the idea of reincarnation. What's your guys' belief on it? Don't answer just yet. Again, I cannot hear anyone else on this podcast right now. I'll give my answer, and then you guys can give your answer. And then, Lozzie, I need you to bring us out of the pod and end the pod. So, reincarnation. Personally, I think it might be possible because, and we will do an episode on it, there are so many crazy stories about like a 3-year-old child, a 4-year-old child that will just be like, oh, I remember when this, and this happened. And then it turns out it's historically accurate to someone that lived in like the 20s. So I just think there's so many of those cases, which again, we will do a podcast on, that reincarnation has got to be something behind it, hasn't there? But that's it for me, guys, because my technology has failed me. I can no longer hear, so there's no point in me being here. So I'll see you guys next week. But Lozzie, Scott, Maya, and Bailey are going to see us out with their beliefs on reincarnation.
Nice. My belief is that I want to believe in reincarnation because I think it'd be a good idea to come back as someone or something else, because don't want to limit it just to coming back as another human. But I don't think it exists. I think once you die, it's final, and that's pretty much it. I think there is an element of, you could argue, beauty in both. Like, you can live again in reincarnation, or you can just make the most of the life that you have whilst you're still alive. That's my belief. I don't know if anyone else agrees, but yeah, that's my belief.
Nice.
Yeah. Scott, take
do
the
you wanna
floor
go
this one.
next? Yeah.
I'm unsure. I don't really understand reincarnation per se. Obviously, the concept is you come back again with some memories, but I struggle to understand it conceptually.
Hmm.
There's a few things with it that I'm like, I don't understand the details, the memories. I don't know how they stay with you. It's just, there's a lot to think about, and I haven't thought about it in enough detail to be able to answer categorically, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Maya?
For me personally, reincarnation is the thing that I do believe happens after we die. So it's a great question for me. I think there's two schools of thought for where I think reincarnation can happen. You either come back as a human experiencing a different life, which I think. Have you ever seen that episode of Rick and Morty where there's that game? I can't remember what it's called, but it's the episode where Rick and Morty go to that place, and there's the game where Morty lives his entire life.
Is it called Roy?
Yeah.
Is it Roy? Something like that.
Something like that. But
Definitely
that's
got that
what I
wrong, but-
believe is happening. I think that's what our lives are. I think that we are spiritual beings that are experiencing a certain life, and that you experience all different kinds of lives. You experience male, female, die young, die old, rich, poor. I think you experience everything. So that's one belief. And I think that in that belief, I've definitely spoken to people that I believe that have been here before, and I can definitely see from people that I've spoken to, the people that are here for the first time, that kind of thing. Or I believe that, I think this is the part of the Buddhist belief, is that you go up and up and up and up. So when you start as an ant, when you die as an ant, you go up, kind of thing, or you come
right,
back.
Tier list.
So yeah, basically.
You work your
Or
ways up the rank, yeah.
Yeah, you come back as the thing. Like, so say for example, if you torture animals, you will come back as an animal that gets tortured, kind of thing.
Oh.
So it's kind of like your good or bad karma plays into
Oh.
effect for how you come back in your next life. And I
God damn.
think that's pretty cute. Do you want to know a really
Wow.
cute fact though, which is just
Go on.
on the topic of reincarnation, that my mum and dad do, and I think it's the
Go on
sweetest thing ever? When they hold hands like this, so they like interlink their pinky finger. So they hold
Okay.
hands weirdly, basically, for the audio listeners. And it's so that when they get reincarnated, they will know that that's them in their next life.
Well, I said, now when I
Ah.
get reincarnated, I'm sorted.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting my mum or my dad. One or
There
the
you
other.
go.
There you go.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's my belief.
That's
It
a
is my
nice way
belief.
of looking at it. My beliefs on it are it's something I really, really want to be true, because it's kind of like people always say, oh, there's no second chances. You know, you always get the one chance or whatever. But it would be nice to think that, you know, whatever you do in this life, you get another chance to maybe better yourself the next time round. Obviously with no prior memories or whatever, but you know, you get another go at it. But do you come back as somebody else or an animal or whatever? I don't know what you'd come back as. I'd like to think that you could have another run at it and potentially do something like, you know, correct some mistakes you've made along the way your first time round. It'd be nice to think that, you know, you might be able to do it a second time, but I don't know. It's one of those things I'd like to believe, but I don't know if I completely do. But it's a nice thought.
Yeah. I do think with reincarnation, one thing that I find a bit weird with it is deja vu.
Yeah.
And on the principle of that, I don't know what deja vu is. I don't really understand where that comes
Isn't
from.
deja vu like something where you
I actually
store
know
something
this.
in your short term and your long term at the same time? So
Yeah.
it's like your brain's wires crossing to think you've been there before.
Maybe.
It's where your brain accidentally stores the memory that you're currently experiencing in your long-term memory. So your brain
Yeah.
goes, oh, I did this ages ago, but actually it's just being stored in the wrong place. Apparently that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know
But
how that works, but you
people
know.
also think it's where your parallel universes are accidentally doing the same thing at the same time, which I think is a really cool theory.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I hate the feeling of deja vu. I hate it.
Yeah.
Frank in it.
It's like
No.
it's one of my. I'd say, for me personally, it's a legitimate fear. I don't like it, but I understand why people go that it's just like a momentary lapse of your brain working correctly. That's it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, no, that I'm an interdimensional being, and I've been here before. I've done this before, and it's always the most mean, like the most boring shit.
Yeah.
Like I've walked into a room and gone, I've been
done that before.
I've been here on this day in this time before. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Not like anything brilliant, like, you know, I don't know.
I
like
would
winning
love
the
it
lottery or
if
anything like that. Not that I've done it, but
I'd absolutely love it if you were the first man on the moon. No, first man on Mars, sorry. He just lands for the first time, gets out and be like, oh, I've been here before and I knew it was fucking shit. Why have I come back?
Because has anyone had deja vu where you sort of know what's happening next?
Yeah. Yeah. Jordan had this the other day where his deja
Final
vu went off
Destination shit.
on for like 3 or 4 minutes, and he kept addressing that he was having deja vu and then was saying things that were going on, and it was really weird.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's a weird feeling.
No. All right, back to topic. One last tangent question. If you could be reincarnated, what would you want to come back as? I'll go first. A cat.
We knew that was fucking coming,
Yeah.
didn't we?
I'm such an
not
ego.
Even, not even a big cat.
No,
Just a standard house cat.
I'd want to be a house cat. You get fed every day.
good owner. You want good owners though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It would have to be conditional that I have a good owner. I
don't
want
think
to
you can sign
be
that clause.
my cat.
Oh, you want to
Right.
be reincarnated as your cat?
Yes,
What happens to
somehow.
your cat then? Oh.
They will be my brothers.
Ah.
This is so fun. I could just
Okay.
hang out with Small and Bean all day,
But then you're not.
and then me and Jordan come
Mm.
home.
Yeah, that's great.
Unreal.
That would be a plot twist. That's a really tough question, to be fair.
Mm.
I think it might be the easiest question I've ever been asked.
You could say human again.
Nah, I don't want to
Yeah.
pay taxes anymore.
No, fuck being a human. Boring.
Shit,
just-
yeah, let me come back and do a fucking
Boring.
standard 9 to 5. Fuck that.
Yay.
Hmm.
Go on, Scott, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking just like a bird or something.
A bird.
Ooh. Of
Just
prey?
Freedom to
Or-
fly around. I don't really know.
Magpie?
Scott comes back
Magpie'd
as a
be pretty cool.
budgie.
Just like something wild that can just like Get well, I'm going over there now. Just fly.
I'd like to be a magpie. That'd be pretty cool. You just collect
Yeah.
silver bits all day, and everyone just walks around saluting you. That's
Yeah.
sick.
It sounds to be
Only
nice.
if you're on your own, though, isn't it?
Basically,
I
a member of the
salute
royal
all
family.
magpies. So if there's like a group of 5, I'm like,
Jesus, just firing off salutes for no reason.
it's called
Yeah.
OCD. If I don't do
Well-
it, my family will die. So
Ah, there
Fucking
you go.
hell. There you go.
Lozzie, what are you
Salute all
thinking, Loz?
magpies, everyone. Jesus Christ, keep your family alive.
one of
you
them might be Scott. All right. So salute every magpie you see.
Yeah.
It's fair.
So, what about you, Bailey? You said it was easy. So what's your answer?
It's silverback gorilla, mate.
I knew you were going
Oh.
to say
It's
silverback.
just a
That's a great
silverback
answer.
gorilla. Have you ever seen a gorilla eating? Have you ever just watched them eat like a fucking pepper or something? It's the best thing ever. They're
Oh,
just sitting
yeah.
there, just fucking living the dream,
Yeah.
mate. Just
Are we-
munching, not giving a fuck.
Are we talking like?
Where is the spicy?
Are we talking like a gorilla that's in a zoo or a wild gorilla?
No, I'm gonna be in the fucking wild, mate. Living the
Nice.
dream out in the wild as a silverback gorilla. Just imagine that. You just fucking you eat what
Yeah.
you want. You wham as fuck. You can climb trees and shit. Pick up whatever thing you want, and you're fucking dangerous, mate. No one's gonna fuck
You are
with a
dangerous.
silverback. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
It's true.
You
He
pound
might grow
shares
big enough to beat
spirit
King
by
Kong and then
4
fuck up New York. Do you know what I mean? It's great.
True.
There you go.
True.
It's written in the stars. You're going to be a silverback, mate, when you.
Oh, mate. Well,
Mate.
it might be because I'm suffering from little man syndrome, so I want to come back as Saint Bigger. So that might be a part of it, you know. And silverback gorillas have got a lot of hair, which I'm lacking in, so that might be another reason as
There
well.
you go. You'll
Yeah.
win on both fronts.
Yeah, I bet a silverback gorilla's camera would work.
I mean, it definitely would, because
It definitely
otherwise
would.
the camera's getting fucked up.
Honestly, if you've never looked into silverbacks, mate, just fucking look them up. They're just quality creatures, mate. They're just living the dream. Don't give a shit. They're just living it out.
I think I'll come back just to mix it up as an alien.
Ah, keep it paranormal.
I'm coming back.
Bring
as
it
an
back to the podcast theme.
alien. That's it. Get those aliens out. I'll be one of them. Reincarnate me.
Maybe
Who
you
would,
already
who
are.
would you probe first?
Oh, that's a great question.
Where do I start?
So many options.
I've thought about this a lot.
Let me just get my list out. I'll be fine. Here we go.
Let's get
First
the
drip
Oh,
pod,
baby
2 hour
names.
special.
Probe list.
Probe list, 2 hour special drip podcast. Here we go.
There you go. You might get it. You might get it. Thanks, Matty.
I
GC.
tell you who it is. It's
Who is
all
it?
the Patreons.
Jeez, well, there needs to be some. I mean, they are paying £1 for this, so
Exactly. It's an experience.
it's a quid a probe.
Bosh.
It's a great deal. Great deal.
Mm,
Get a free sticker, free probe.
That's a good point. Actually, they're getting stickers as well.
We
Super
might have to up the
episodes.
price.
oh,
2 probes.
That
One's
would
not a
down.
practice one. Then we'll see how this goes. Matty GC, thank you for the question. Thank you everyone for watching and listening from wherever you are. And
In
we,
the
as
comments,
group- yeah,
what would you be reincarnated as?
yeah. And if you've liked the question of the week, maybe get in the chat. Pay that
Please.
£1. Get in the
'Cause
Patreon
Jordan
chat.
We'll forget to ask next week.
Exactly. So please
just put them in the chat anyway. Yeah.
get some
Please.
questions in because Jordan will forget. Just whatever questions you want,
Mhm.
preferably about paranormal, but it doesn't have to be. But yeah, get in the chat, see how it goes, get
We'll
some
see.
questions
It's lit in
answered
there.
in this pod. See it in it. That's what you want.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you everyone for watching and listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Drip drop out. What do we even do for outros?
I
We don't-
love
we-
drip drop out.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just don't think Jordan's ever
Yeah.
heard drip drop out because he's never here when we outro
I
without him.
think he has. I think he has
That's it.
said drip drop out. This is.
I
also-
love drip drop out. This is the new outro. Drip drop out and then Lozzie insert drip noise here.